Welcome, I am Roger from NFL Trending. Joe Flacco has done it again. Week 9 of the NFL season will be remembered for the veteran quarterback's incredible performance that shocked the Cincinnati Bengals and sent ripples through the entire league. It was supposed to be the Bengals' week, a chance to solidify their playoff hopes and prove that their offense and defense were finally clicking at the right time. Instead, Joe Flacco, at 39 years old, stepped onto the field and delivered one of the most complete and commanding performances of his long career. Flacco's career game didn't just light up the stat sheet, it exposed serious flaws in the Bengals' game plan, their defense, and maybe even their mentality. From the very first drive, you could tell that something special was happening. Flacco looked calm, confident, and completely in control. Every throw had precision. Every read was sharp. He wasn't playing like a veteran just trying to hang on. He was playing like a man who still has something to prove. By the end of the day, Flacco had thrown for more than 350 yards and 4 touchdowns, without a single interception. Those are the kinds of numbers you expect from a quarterback in his prime, not from someone closing in on 40. But that's exactly why this story is so remarkable. It wasn't just about stats, it was about command. Joe Flacco looked like he was back in his Super Bowl MVP days, picking apart defenses with ease and leading his team with poise and confidence. On the other hand, the Bengals looked lost. A team that had been building momentum over the past few weeks suddenly fell apart against a quarterback who most analysts thought was well past his prime. Their defense, which had been solid all year, couldn't get any pressure on Flacco. The secondary was out of position. The linebackers missed key tackles. The pass rush was virtually invisible. When a quarterback like Flacco is given time to read the field, bad things happen for the defense. And that's exactly what happened to Cincinnati. Flacco made the Bengals pay for every mistake, hitting receivers in stride, converting on third downs, and making it look far too easy. Joe Burrow, meanwhile, couldn't find his rhythm. Despite putting up decent yardage, Burrow's frustration was evident throughout the game. His timing with Ja'Marr Chase was off, and the offensive line struggled to keep him upright. Every drive felt like a grind, while Flacco made his drives look effortless. The contrast was glaring, one quarterback playing free and confident, the other trying to force things against a defense that had found its groove. For the Bengals, this game was more than just a loss in the standings. It was a wake-up call. This is a team loaded with talent, but talent only takes you so far when execution and effort aren't there. The defense lacked energy. The offense lacked creativity. And most of all, they lacked urgency. The Bengals entered Week 9 looking like a team expecting to win. Joe Flacco entered like a man fighting for every snap, and that difference in mindset decided the outcome. Flacco's experience was the difference maker. He's seen every defensive look in the book. He knows how to adjust protections, how to read coverage pre-snap, and how to stay calm under pressure. While younger quarterbacks rely on athleticism and mobility, Flacco reminded everyone that pure football IQ and precision passing can still win games in today's NFL. His performance also reignited a sense of leadership on his team. You could see the energy on the sideline. Teammates were feeding off his confidence. Players talked afterward about how Flacco's presence settled everyone down and gave them belief. That's something stats don't measure: leadership and command. The Bengals, though, have to take a hard look in the mirror. Defensively, this was a step backward. They've built their reputation on being disciplined and opportunistic, but none of that showed in Week 9. There were blown assignments, missed tackles, and poor communication on every level of the defense. Offensively, Cincinnati's issues continue to revolve around consistency. The Bengals rely too heavily on big plays. When the deep ball isn't there, Burrow is forced to extend plays, and that's when the protection breaks down. Without a reliable run game to balance things out, opposing defenses can sit back and wait for mistakes. This game should serve as a reminder for the Bengals that no opponent can be taken lightly. Every week in the NFL is a test of preparation and focus. Joe Flacco just handed them a lesson in both. As for Flacco, this performance might just redefine the final chapter of his career. For years, he's been labeled as a stopgap quarterback, a veteran brought in to mentor or fill in until a younger option takes over. But this game showed that he's still capable of being more than that. He's still capable of leading a team, winning big games, and silencing critics. It's easy to dismiss one good performance as a fluke, but this didn't feel like luck. It felt like a master class. Flacco wasn't relying on broken plays or miracle throws. He was dissecting the defense with precision passing, patience, and perfect timing. His chemistry with his receivers was impressive, and his control of the game was absolute. You could feel the respect from both sidelines. Even Bengals players acknowledged after the game that Flacco was simply on another level that day. He took what the defense gave him and turned it into a statement win. For the Bengals, it's back to the drawing board. The AFC playoff picture is tight, and every loss matters. Cincinnati still has the talent to make a run, but they need to fix their defensive communication, improve their offensive balance, and regain the edge that made them contenders in recent years. Joe Burrow remains the heart of this team, but he can't do it alone. The offensive line must step up. The defense has to get its swagger back. And the coaching staff needs to adapt quickly, because teams are figuring them out. Week 9 wasn't just a bump in the road for the Bengals. It was a message. The NFL doesn't wait for anyone. Veterans like Joe Flacco can still rise and take down the Giants when they play smart, disciplined football. It was a story of experience versus youth, patience versus pressure, and preparation versus expectation. And when the final whistle blew, it was Joe Flacco standing tall, proving that even in 2025, he still has what it takes to dominate at the highest level. For fans, this was one of those classic moments that remind us why we love the game. You never know who's going to step up, who's going to surprise everyone, and who's going to write the next chapter of NFL history. Joe Flacco just wrote his, and the Bengals will be reading it all week long as they try to figure out what went wrong. This game may have been just 1 week in a long season, but it could end up defining both teams in very different ways. For Joe Flacco, it was redemption. For the Bengals, it was a warning. Whatever comes next, one thing is certain: Week 9 belonged to Joe Flacco.